What's going on, family? Welcome back to Israel's Movie Reviews, and today we're going to be discussing Bloodsport. Now, this was a film that broke the legendary Jean-Claude Van Damme's career. He's one of my favorite action stars around this time. The late 80s, early 90s, man, it was him, Steven Seagal, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, you had Chuck Norris, and the list goes on. As the years went down, there's really no action flicks like that. If you think about maybe The Rock, who's the action star of this time now, and Jason Statham. And after those two, you can't really think about it. Maybe Ryan Reynolds, right? In a very funny way. But this movie to me was the breakout role, even though the movie was average. It was a low budget film. But then again, I think that's when the studio took liberty and said, you know what, let's give this guy a shot. Let's see what he can do on screen. And this is Bloodsport 1988. Let's get straight into it. This title holds the dubious distinction of being the first film that really showcased Van Damme's martial arts, right? Throughout the film, we are consistently invited to watch Van Damme kick people in the face, right? That's what we go and paid for, to spin and generally do that kick that he's famous for. And he also did a lot of athletic things in this film, especially. So this can be considered as the first film that generally broke him into Hollywood. As the film itself, the premise is rather basic. It descends in a series of staged fight scenes. The familiarity of the situations come from many other films that Van Damme made, which were basically just remakes of this one. In his latter films, I'm talking about AWOL, The Quest, Kickboxer, etc. The low budget in this film is very apparent. Like I said before, you can tell that they were basically betting on Van Damme to give them a bigger budget, possibly in the future. And after this film, obviously they did. In that, we don't get much in the way of the special effects, but the fight scenes are well done. They're very exciting, especially for its time back then, 1988. All of these fights look authentic. Apart from the first, I think where throwing the punches and kicks were too obvious in the beginning, but as you went through the film and paid attention, it kept you in the movie. The acting isn't really important in a film like this, obviously, but still the female lead that's to be expected. You know, she's an airhead, adding nothing to the film whatsoever. Basically just a female counterpart for Van Damme's character. Although Van Damme was still struggling with his accent at that time. At this point in time, he lacked some of the natural charisma, which he later conveyed what we know him for in his latter films. Yes, his acting wasn't as good here, but it was sufficient. You know, he drew you in, especially the females at that time loved him, and men wanted to be him. I was a young pup, but we looked up to Van Damme. Every movie that came out at that time, we were like, whoa, you know, we need this guy on screen. Also, we had Bolo Yeung, who was in really great shape. And I enjoyed him thoroughly as he enjoys himself in the lead role as the lead villain. And he obviously enjoyed working with Van Damme. They're friends to this day, as he later turned up in 1991's Double Impact, which I'll be reviewing in another film. That was an excellent film as well. And he's always, in most of the movies I've seen him in, he plays the villain, and he does a superior job in those roles. It's surprising to see a young Forrest Whitaker here, who plays a government agent whose job is to get Van Damme back to America, as he was AWOL. These scenes are added in a mere padding, you can tell, to add something to the film, to give it some acting, other than fight sequences and that consequently falls flat at times. But the violence in this movie is very high. It's very gruesome, with lots of kicks and punching, obviously. We get some broken arms, legs, and plenty of nosebleeds. Van Damme, although he's excellent in this movie, he does get his share ass whipping at times. That's what I like about it. They make it realistic. He's not just this fighter who kicks everybody's ass and doesn't get beat as well. I was surprised that the film didn't add more in the way of more storytelling in this movie. It seemed like it was fight, 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 little story, fight, 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 little story. But the violence, it hit home, you know, especially involving Bolo Yeung and Van Damme. That fight sequence was legendary. It goes down as one of the best battles in cinema history. On a simple level, though, this film is very enjoyable, but it lacks the polished veneer and style of Van Damme's latter offerings, and therefore can be considered one of his best. So I definitely give this movie out of 10. Bloodsport, for me, was an early Van Damme film in which I could only give him an 8 out of 10. And that's saying a lot in this film because it does have a lot of flaws. And it's one of also his best films ever. You know, it's kind of a biopic as well. You know, he's playing Frank Dux, who was actually a real person who fought in the Kumite and eventually won, right? Go check this out. The screenplay's funny, it's engaging, excellent fight choreography, and if you like plots with pretty much no direction and you just like fighting, this is your movie. So go check it out and let me know what you thought about it. Bloodsport, 1988. If you liked this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. And if you want more content from me, you want to feel those 90s themes and you want to have some sense of nostalgia, come to the next one. Peace.